If you've ever looked at your own past, your worst habits, or the trail of broken relationships behind you, and assumed God could never use someone like you, stop. The actual biblical roster doesn't look like a quiet monastery. It looks like a maximum security prison yard. God consistently skips past the flawless, self-righteous citizens to give keys to the kingdom. To the most toxic and volatile psychological profiles imaginable. We have a bad habit of turning biblical figures into safe, sanitized, stained glass windows. But let's look at the raw forensic data. Moses wasn't a peaceful spiritual leader when he was called. He was a fugitive hiding in the desert after murdering a man in cold blood. Jacob was a pathological liar and a con artist who actively defrauded his own blind, dying father for an inheritance.
And King David? The man labeled a man after God's own heart orchestrated a brutal military cover-up.
And executed a lethal hit on an innocent soldier just to cover up an unwanted pregnancy. If these men applied to step onto the stage of a modern church today, they would fail every single security and background check before reaching the door. So why does a perfect God rely on defective infrastructure? Because when God encounters someone who has completely wrecked their own lives, they don't just need a moral mentor, they need a supernatural resurrection. God uses the broken because they're traumatized. Trauma leaves a structural void that only absolute grace can occupy. The intensity isn't the problem, the direction is. When that toxic engine is finally repurposed. By grace, it turns into unshakable kingdom conviction.
Which brings us to a terrifying question that most theologians dance around. If God uses toxic pasts, does that mean
your current failure is secretly being allowed just to break your pride? If you mistake patience for permission,